FYI, most of the times when you see me recording a video, when you watch one of my videos, I will be sipping on coffee. It's just my thing. It's like my support thing. So let's get right into it. How did I reach my spiritual awakening, my journey that led me to making my first 10K, okay, in a month? I made my first 10K by selling affiliate products, MRRs, digital products, I mean. And it's not a one thing. It's not like an awakening that hits you where you just wake up one day and you just change your life. No, it took me like 2 years to get to where I'm at right now, but people don't see that part because there's really nothing to record. There's nothing to talk about. I have a candle business, not yet, but it's an idea and it's into fruition, meaning I was testing my candles, testing the candle vases or containers that I wanted to use, and I was testing waxes. I was in Facebook groups. I was studying the candle. Here's the thing. Just to sell your first candle, it's gonna take about 2 years of testing. Sorry, 2 years of testing if you have a life, meaning if you have other obligations, if you have a job, if you have children, whatever it is. Now, if you don't have any of those and you're in your youth phase right now and you're just taking your creative break from life and you're just creating, it might not take you 2 years, but it will take you some time to buy different waxes, different brands of waxes, to test the temperature, to test your wicks, to test your vases, to test everything, different scents that you want to use. How do they smell in a candle? Hot throw, cold throw. All of those things that I had to test before I even sold a candle. Nobody's watching that part, right? While I'm doing that, I'm in these groups and I am seeing so many people saying that they're going out of business, that they have to close their candle business because they're not making the money that they wanted to. Like they're not making enough money to justify it, and it's an expensive hobby. Like if your hobby is candle making, you're either retired or you have a surplus of money, or it just brings you joy to gift candles. There are people that just make candles to gift them during the holidays. I think that's beautiful. Um but a lot of people want to go into candle making full time. They want their candle business to be their full time income. That is very expensive. And I just got scared because I kept seeing so many people closing their business or so many people destashing or getting rid of their product because their stuff isn't selling. And aside from my candles, I was going into and I was gonna evolve into an accessories line, right? So candles, room sprays, body sprays. This lip gloss is by me, by the way, and just all things girly, whatever girls or women love, self care, self love, just internal, external, just taking care of your whole temple. And I chickened out. Well, I didn't chicken out. I said to myself, I need to learn how to sell these candles before I even create them because I don't want to sit on inventory. I don't want to close anything and I don't want to count the chickens before the eggs hatch, so to speak. So I was in another Facebook group. It's not around anymore and it was for like making money off of content. So I was thinking it was content like recording my candles, recording the process and posting it. In the Facebook group, I came across digital products that I didn't have to sell. So my original plan was to sell candles on Etsy. That is annoying. You have to weigh the candle. They ask you for the weight of the item and the weight of the whole packaged item. They just ask you for it's just too much. I couldn't do Etsy. I was like, oh, I thought I could just throw stuff on there. And then as I'm looking for like setting up my Etsy shop, I started, in the algorithms on YouTube, they start showing you know, selling digital products on Etsy and how you can sell it and how it's a passive income. And I ignored it because I'm thinking to myself, like, why, like, people are buying digital products. I couldn't see the value. I couldn't see that my audience or an audience would find value in selling digital courses and products because YouTube exists. So I kept that in the back of my mind, but I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And some of the creators that I will follow will talk about passive income and will talk about selling digital products. So I'm like, well, there must be something there, but I'm just like, I just thought I couldn't fathom starting to create a digital product or course while I was making candles. And since it would show up on my algorithms, I would watch the videos just for like for fun or for I don't know. I don't know why. I guess my intuition. So I'm in the Facebook group asking about, making money from content and recording content, things like that. And so someone said, you can sell digital products. There are digital products that you can sell, you can resell, meaning you don't have to create them. So I said, what? And this was like in 2022, 2023, something like that. And I said, okay. And then she sent me a website. She was like, yeah, you can sell PLRs, which means private label rights or private label resale, which means that it's a product that you can edit and resell it as your own. And then I thought, okay, I'll keep that in the back of my mind. But I wanted a course that could help me market my candles, that could help me bring awareness to my candle business before I go full throttle, before I spend more money and more time on my candles. So I came across a um a course called Ultimate Branding Course. And I said, this is it. This is exactly what I needed. The title was perfect. It was exactly what I needed. It was what I was looking for. I'm a researcher. So I researched it. Another thing I am is I will buy anything from anybody. I will buy anything from anybody. Meaning, if I want something, I'm going to get it. I don't care who's selling it. I don't care if they're younger than me, if they're older than me. I don't care if they just started yesterday. If you know what you're doing and you've demonstrated that, I'm going to trust you. Okay? So I've never heard of that. So she said there's a course, Ultimate Branding course, you can resell it. You can also resell it. But that was her pitch. It wasn't like you can use this for your camera, you can use this for your candle business. It was more like you can resell it as well. And so I thought, okay, I had no intentions of reselling it. As like in conjunction with purchasing the Ultimate Branding course, I literally went online and I just, like a month later, I said, okay, let me see. And I bought the course. I went online and it came up, whoever, the first one that came up, I bought it. Her name is Natasha. Never heard from her again after that. Digital marketing, her email marketing was trash. She lost me as a customer after that, which I'll have another video, you know. And at that time, I was making $20 an hour. So I said, okay, let me invest. It's a $500 course. Let me invest the $500 into the course. You can put it on a payment plan. So I did it. The payment plan was $167 a month. So for 3 months, you pay $167. You don't get access to sell the course until you pay it off. You get access to the course, but you cannot resell it until you pay it off. So I did the first payment of 167. Saw the course, fell in love with it. My next paycheck, I paid the whole thing off. Now I can resell it. The course is amazing. It was, Ultimate Branding course, it lives up to that title and then some. And then they're always, the creators are always adding new things to it. They're just very giving to that community. What happened? I was like, this is amazing. These candles can wait. Okay. I fell in love with the course with digital marketing in general. And then I started to like all the flashbacks of every single business that I've done came back into fruition, came back into my mind because now is 2023. Social media has been around for a very long time, but for me, the social media marketing didn't start picking up until after COVID. Like once the world went into quarantine and we had to go into our resources and we had to figure out how to make money, how to promote, there was no more face to face door knocking, which is what I did as an insurance agent, right? Before COVID, you had to go to the person's house. There was very little carriers where you can do a Zoom, where you can sell on through Zoom. And if you wanted to sell over the phone, you probably had to work for a call center, which means you were no longer working for yourself, you're working for a company. I didn't know how to navigate that, so I just stopped selling insurance. I just started helping other agencies build their agents and build their team and recruit and get them ready to sell. But once I took the ultimate branding course, I was just thinking of all the other ways that I can make money by this one course, like all the other things that I could now apply it to. Now that I have this information, I felt like this is golden, and it's information that's already out there. What is specific of what is special about a course is that there is a set curriculum. If you're just looking up the information by yourself on YouTube, that's great. You want to start with that. But there's not like a guide. There's not like a chronological order, a curriculum, a syllabus. Um, there is none of that. And then there's also a community where you get to ask questions. The creator is there, obviously, but you're also talking with other people who bought the course. What did you do? What are you using to do this? How did you grow your Instagram followers? Who's using Facebook? How are you using Threads? You collaborate, like it's like a huge brainstorm, and you're collaborating and brainstorming with other people who have other businesses as well. So learning from other people's personal experiences, especially getting a different perspective from someone who has a different business, I find that you learn more. Sometimes only being in the industry that you're in and only talking to the industry, the people that do the same exact thing you do, sometimes the information can get redundant, or it doesn't stick as well because you're like, okay, I know this already, I know this. But let's say, for example, I talk to someone who has a baking business and she's telling me how she markets her business or what kind of content she posts or how does she go live. It's gonna trigger a different level of creativity to me. So that is what I loved about the course. In conjunction, the course, they have a module on mindset, right? Mindset and all that stuff. And I knew that my mindset was old fashioned. Coming from the insurance industry, it's very hustle. It's very hustle. It's very grind. You have to go broke, spend all your rent money on leads, spend all your rent money on education to force yourself to make that money back to pay the rent next month. If you are whatever, if you're sitting down on the couch and you're not a millionaire, what are you doing? If you're not going to every single event and you don't want it bad enough, like if you're not working from the hospital, if you're not working yourself into dehydration, into like getting hospitalized for exhaustion, then you don't want it. That was the mentality. It was very hustle bro, finance bro. It is still, you know. But before the social media craze and before, you had to eat, sleep, and breathe and hustle and grind, and you had to like just outwork and exhaust yourself. And being a woman is a little bit different. I noticed that a lot of women who started off as insurance agents, they get married to like another insurance agent, and then their insurance goals falls to the background because now you become the secretary and the assistant to your husband. and then you stay home and you do the boring stuff like running appointments and calling people, and not running appointments, booking appointments and calling people and following up, and you're doing everything that the man doesn't want to do. And then the man goes and talks about how, he made X, Y, and Z, and how much annual premium he wrote, and how much money he made, and how much family he makes. And it's like, well, yeah, you have your wife as a secretary doing everything else in the back end. And I didn't want to fall into that. So I was used to that hustle culture, door knocking, and that's good grit. Like, that's a good foundation to learn. Like, I really learned how to go out and get it, how to get my money, how to hunt for my money. It was just the environment was not, I don't want to say toxic. I feel like toxic is a strong word. It was just very different. And also, at that time, with that particular agency, most 90% of everybody was white. So I heard things that culturally I didn't relate to. And when you are a non-white person in a white space and they critique you based on their white experience that you don't have, that you will never have, it's very weird. So now with digital marketing, I can create my own avenues of income. I can create my own streams of income. I can use one skill and apply it to many different things and help so many people grow their business, especially women, especially Latinas, especially women born from immigrant parents. Like, that's where I come from. I'm not privileged at all. I didn't come from any I didn't come from any money. I'm born and raised in Spanish Harlem, single mom household, no idea where my dad is. Um, that's me. And the Ultimate Branding course has definitely catapulted me into that direction, into that you can do this. It kind of everything came into full circle. Like, I was like, oh, I can sell insurance by I can have insurance. I can generate my own insurance leads by doing X, Y, and Z. I can change my mindset. I can do my candles. I can do, like, I was seeing the can in everything that I saw the cans in. So, in conjunction with the mindset module that they have, I started listening to mindset podcasts. I would just go on Spotify. I pay for my Spotify, by the way. I pay the $15 a month or $11 a month. And I would just search manifest. I would search mindset change. I would search women in business. I would search business. I would search everything. And then I would create my own podcast. And every single morning while I was going to work, I would listen to a podcast episode instead of listening to music. On my lunch break, I would listen to something positive. When I come home from work, I would listen to something positive. And I started, like, brainwashing myself into understanding, knowing, thinking, and believing that I can do this, that I can make 10K a month, that I can make more than I work at my job, that I can become financially free because I already had the tools that I needed. I had the course, I had the knowledge, I already have the income stream potential. All you need is potential. Once you combine your potential with, like, doing the work and believing in, like, in yourself, and you have to have blind faith. You have to have so much faith. You just have to know. I can't even explain it. It's something that you feel. As long as you have that and you work on yourself and you rewire your mindset, you definitely can make it. And I made my 10K a month reselling courses, reselling affiliates. At that time, it was MRR, Master Resale Rights, which is you sell it for 100% of the profit. But now it's an affiliate, which is fine. So now I believe I get like 80% or 85% of the commission. And that's great. I'm helping people. I'm creating my own stuff. I'm making my money. And now it's opening me up to so many other streams of income.